Hi guys, it's Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Thanks for joining me. We're going to give this just a moment for the little notification to go out that I've gone live. It is mid-morning here in Colorado, so I'm not sure who all will see this. Maybe some of my friends in the UK can join in. It'll be evening time there. So it is great to see you, and hello everybody. Thanks for joining me. Hey, if you want to let me know, I'm going to keep my eyes out. Is that Jane? I think that's Jane I see there. I'm going to keep my eyes out for as people jump on, so don't hesitate to put a little comment below letting me know where you're from. So we're going to talk about something really interesting today, and it takes a moment or two for this message to go out. So if you're watching this on the replay, just bear with me for a minute or two, and look at everybody jumping on. It's great to see you guys. So I know over the holidays, it was kind of hard for me to jump on, and my Jack crossed on December 1st. And it was just a funky end to 2021. But you know what? That's behind us. That's all in the past. Teresa, how you doing? Lee, it's great to see you. We have Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Awesome. I can't see, it goes by so fast, so I'll try to catch all the messages as they come in. So hello everybody, thanks for joining me. We are going to be talking about an interesting topic today, and that is how we use animal Reiki at end of life. This has become something that unexpectedly became an important part of my animal Reiki practice as time went on. And I'm going to tell the story of, I know, Teresa, Sweet Jack, and so many. It was unexpected. It was even though he was almost 14 years old and he was in failing health, the day of his passing came really quickly, and I did not anticipate it at all, or I would have let you guys kind of follow the story and follow along with him. So I am gonna share Jack's story, so you may want to grab a tissue. I'm going to talk about Lucy and Winston, and in general, how I have used animal Reiki to help the transition of my own animals, and also for the animals who are my clients. Okay, so the first thing I want to share as people start to jump on, I want to let you know that I'm an animal Reiki master. I started out being trained in traditional human Reiki, and the animals just kept calling to me. And in 2018, I converted my entire practice to focus on animals, and I actually am a corporate dropout. I walked away from my corporate job of 35 years to focus solely on helping animals heal, and healing is such a loaded word, helping animals heal through using Reiki. And we're going to talk about end of life. So real quick though, I want to share with you guys that I am trained in the Let Animals Lead method. So I'm on my phone. This is going to be backwards, but this is a really nice little handout that I give to students who practice with me. I was trained under Kathleen Prasad in her Let Animals Lead method of animal Reiki. And essentially it just honors animals as sentient beings, as souls that have their own choices and their own preferences. Even the animals that we bring into our homes have a choice and have preferences. It is based in the tradition of Japanese Reiki. One of the cool things about it is that we only use touch when animals initiate that touch, which is really kind of cool for working with wildlife, working for animals in captivity, working for animals in shelters who are afraid of human beings. It's a really cool way to help shift their energy without the need to touch. Where humans are comforted by touch, many animals are not, and some animals you just cannot touch. We also focus on the perfection of the animal in the moment. We take a perspective, even at end of life, that all is well, that they are perfect just the way they are. There's no need to fix anything. We are here to help them heal, whatever healing may look like for them. And I share that healing really takes three forms. Healing can mean recovery. Healing can mean learning to live with a chronic illness or injury. And healing can also mean using the beautiful healing energy of Reiki to transition. And that's what we're going to talk about. It is also based very much in meditation. So much of what I've learned by understanding how to meditate, how to quiet my mind, how to open my heart, how to create a space for animals that helps them remember who they are, helps them remember their natural ability to heal. And it also, last 2 points of that, it honors animals as teachers and healers in their own right, and we look at Reiki as something we share with our animals as opposed to a treatment or a therapy that we do to them. It's something that is mutual, and we share with that. So I'm going to share with you by stories. And for those of you, like, so many people go onto TikTok now, right? They jump on, they want 30 seconds of blah, 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 and that's not me. I love to share stories. I love to tell stories. So if you are, let's say you're driving down the road, or you're at work and you can't watch the whole video, no big deal. I'm also going to post it over on YouTube. It gets archived here in Facebook. I'm also going to post it over on YouTube, so you guys can hop over there and put your earphones in and listen to it as you're driving down the road if you choose to. Okay, Leslie, how you doing? It's great to see you. All right, so let's talk about how Reiki helps at end of life. This first came to me when my Lucy crossed in August of 2020. So it's been almost 18 months since Lucy crossed. And when Lucy crossed, she first had her significant event when I thought she was going to cross in March of 2020. And she became very unresponsive. She stopped walking, she stopped eating, she stopped drinking. She exhibited all the signs of animals who are about to transition. And we made her comfortable on the couch. She had her own little bed. She was not responding much to anything. We laid her there, and some of you may remember this, that I put a call out, just like all of us do. I just put a call out, not so much for healing, but for love, just to send Lucy as much love as we possibly could, let her know she's loved and cared for, and whatever choice she makes in her life, I would honor. We really thought that we were headed to the veterinarian to help assist her. The next day, this was after a full weekend, the next day she woke up as if she were a puppy. She ran out the door, she ate her breakfast, she was right back to the Lucy that we had known for 13 years with absolutely no signs of any kind of illness. And she stayed with us for another, not quite 6 months, so it was about July of that same year that she started to deteriorate again. She couldn't walk at all. We were using a Help Me Up harness. And by the first week of August, we knew. She looked at me one day and just gave me that, she just had a look in her eyes. When I brought the harness out to help her go outside, she just looked at me like, please, please don't make me do this anymore. And so what I did with Reiki was I meditated with her, and I sat with her in a quiet space and just opened my heart, let her know she was free to go if she chose to go. And we sat together and made a decision together that I would help her transition. And we went to the veterinarians, and my vet, who I'm very close to, my daughter's a technician there. It was a beautiful experience. We created a wonderful ritual. She laid on the blanket in the sunshine. She was happy. She was content. We gave her some of her favorite foods. And when she crossed, I've told this story before, but when she crossed, the moment she crossed, she only took one deep breath. It was the deepest breath I've ever felt. And when she exhaled, it was such a slow exhale. We felt it. There were 4 of us there. All 4 of us felt her enter us. She became part of us in that moment. She passed through us. Even the veterinarian said, oh my God, did you feel that? And yes, how could we not feel it? All of us felt her love literally pass through us. That's how Reiki helps. When we can learn to set aside our own guilt, grief, anxiety, confusion, or all of those negative emotions that we have that surround us, the fear of loss from our animal companion, when we can learn to set that aside, we can help their transition be peaceful. And I call it peaceful crossings. We create a space where we are completely present for them, the most selfless thing we can possibly do for our animal companions. Before Lucy passed, I would share with her Reiki sessions, share with her love and peace and compassion, reminding her that she was perfect just as she was. And even during that last weekend, she lost control of her bowels, she lost control of most of her bodily functions, and to let her know that she was perfect, that it was okay, that it was fine. And her transition was one of peace. I'm kind of taking this in chronological order. Then a week later, my handsome little Winston, who was my rescue, a week later Winston crossed on his own. I came home one day and Winston had crossed. My little heart was broken, guys. My little heart was broken because I thought that Winston and I had a deal that I would share Reiki with him as he crossed. And honestly, in my heart, I know this. In my heart, I know that Winston saw how easy it was for Lucy to cross and that he didn't need to go through any of the kind of physical traumas that Lucy went through. And so he crossed. And Winston, I had shared Reiki with all the time anyway. Winston was a rescue, someone dumped him at my door. And I took him in, and he had serious health conditions. And the veterinarian even said to me the day that we went there, he said, probably he won't make it through the night. That's how serious his health conditions are. Take him home, give him as much love as you can. So, of course, he didn't just get the love, he got the full Reiki session. Went into meditation, quieted my mind, opened my heart, just reminded him that he could heal, he could stay, he could go. Whatever he wanted to do, he could do. And he chose to stay for 2.5 years. For 2.5 years, Winston stayed with me. So I cannot be sad about his crossing. He lived a wonderful, beautiful life, and he gave me more love in 2 years than I had experienced in my whole life. All right, we're getting to Jack. So now, when Lucy and Winston crossed, I would meditate with them after they crossed. Reiki transcends time. Reiki transcends space. It doesn't know geography. It does not know, just because they've left their little physical body, their love does not leave us. Their spirit does not leave us. They are just like us. They are spirits having a physical experience. And when they leave their little bodies, we still have access to all of their love. And so I would lay in bed at night and meditate with Lucy and meditate with Winston, with Jack at my feet. And I had such a strong sense of their presence all the time. Lucy became a part of me. I imagined Lucy in my mind. She would come to me as if she had transcended into her higher self. I could see visions of her in my mind as this beautiful, amazing wolf. She had become her true, beautiful self, and she helped guide to me. I'm certain of it. She helped guide all of the animals who have come to me in this past 1.5 years for assistance with transition. And Winston just gives me this picture of a happy little soul. He was completely deaf. He gives me a picture of this happy little soul romping on the beach, chasing the birds, barking up a storm, because he didn't ever bark because he couldn't hear, he didn't know to bark. Barking up a storm, chasing the birds, having fun, jumping in the air. He is so completely happy. And then when my Jack, when it came time for him to cross, a little bit different experience. I was dog sitting, so I was not at home. And my husband called to say that Jack was not well and he wouldn't get up. Much of the same symptoms as Lucy. He wouldn't get up, he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't drink, and that I should come home. And so I did. The second I came home, it was almost as if Jack had been waiting for me. Jack got up after not being able to get up. He got up with all of his strength, came over to me, sat in my lap, gave me the most beautiful sense of love. Any of you who have been in any of my courses know that Jack was not always open to Reiki. And so it was not something that I ever forced. And with animals, all it is calling on a space of love, opening it up. Animals are natural meditators. So while Jack did not like any of my hands get really hot when I practice Reiki, with animals or with people. And Jack did not like that. It was almost as if it was too much energy for him. And so all I would do was sit in a quiet space. He could go in the other room if he chose. I simply opened this space of love in my heart. It's the meditations are the things that I teach as part of my classes, how to get to that place, how to open your heart, how to create the most beautiful space for your animal companions. And Jack just didn't always like to be in the same room as I did it, which was totally fine. That morning was the first morning that he ever let me go through a full treatment session with him. He let me touch. He let me place my hands on different parts of his body. He let me sweep energy. He let me embrace him with the love of Reiki, the universal love of Reiki. I felt so honored that on that day he allowed me to share a full session of Reiki with him. And his situation quickly deteriorated. I contacted the vet. We drove him to the vet. Again, it was the beautiful sunny day. It was a beautiful, just like Lucy. And it was December 1st, and it was 70 degrees, and the sun was shining, and we had a blanket. We did the same kind of ritual that we did for Lucy. We all sat with him. I will tell you that my husband was not able to go. Emotionally, he was not able to go. He trusted myself and my daughter to help Jack transition. It's one of the reasons that I still work with private clients so closely when it comes to transition, because I understand the emotion that comes with that and how difficult it is to set aside our grief so that we can be fully present for our animals. But it was myself and my daughter and the veterinarian, the same group that was with Lucy, and we sat outside and had a beautiful time with Jack, we took as much time as we needed, and we stayed there with him. And when it came time, Jack was much different than Lucy. He simply went to sleep. There was no other way to put it. He laid in our laps, again, all of us there, he laid in our laps, and he went to sleep. And again, it was beautiful and peaceful, and we created a space that was focused just on him, and he went to sleep. And when I went to meditate with Jack, to thank him for sharing his life with me, to thank him for all of the love that he had given to our family all these years, here's the sense that I got. Remembering that Reiki, universal love, transcends time and space. When I meditated with him, I got a sense that he was not ever coming back, that his love would always be there for us. But I just had a sense that he had been an old soul all along, that he had been, that he was ready to go back to universal source, that he was ready to go back to become part of that love that everybody could have access to. So I don't know for sure, but I don't know that he'll ever connect with me again the way that Lucy still does, the way that Winston still does, the way that so many of my animals, I have them all back here. Jack, I have little memorials for them, Jack and Lucy and Winston, and so many of the animals that I work with, I have little pieces of little reminders of them too, because their human companions send me little things. Hang on a second. Anyway, how Reiki helps. Reiki helps because it helps us set aside those lower emotions of grief by focusing on pure, beautiful, universal love. It helps our animal companions because they will sometimes stick around for us. They sense our grief. They sense our sadness and our guilt. And so they stay even longer than their little bodies should, because they stay for us. And when we can learn to open our heart in a space of pure love, focus just on them, present just for them, honoring their preferences, honoring their choices, whether they choose, like Winston, to go on their own go on their own terms, or whether, like Jack and Lucy, they require assistance in their transition. It's never a wrong decision when it is based in love, and when we sit with them and let them come to the decision with us, especially the way Lucy did. Lucy was just absolutely amazing with her. The look of knowing that she gave me on her last day was one that said, "Mom, I'm ready." And so we did. Okay, so that, I think, I had a little couple notes over here. It's a way to make a peaceful crossing for them. It's a way to stay in touch with their love even after they cross. If anyone is interested, so many new people have joined this page in the past 6 months. So I welcome all of you, and I thank all of you for joining me. On Monday starts our next online class. You're more than welcome to join there. I right up to the minute that I press the go button on the Zoom class, I accept students. So there's still plenty of time to join. We have 8 weeks of beautiful, it's 1 hour a week for 8 weeks. And we study the Let Animals Lead method. It's a wonderful way to build connections as well as to learn how to hold sessions with animals. And then I have an in-person class. If anybody wants to join me, February 5th, I will be at the 3 Sevens Animal Sanctuary, which is my home away from home, where I get to practice with animals live. So it's like we take that 8 weeks and we condense it all together. We learn theory, we go right out and practice with animals. February 5th. And last but not least, I want to let everybody know that I am now a certified instructor for Kathleen Prasad's Let Animals Lead method level 2. So level 1 and level 2 can now be taught online. I'm authorized to do that, and I'll be announcing that date. It probably is not going to be till after the live session in February that I'll be doing level 2. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, for letting me share the stories of Jack and Winston and Lucy. I have now only just my little gypsy is with me. I'm used to having 3, 4, 5. The most I've ever had was 6 at one time, dogs. And now it's just me and my little gypsy, my little blind rescue. But we have lots of fun things coming up too for my beautiful gypsy, because I know she's got some really magic in her too. All right. So, Bella, yeah, so this will absolutely, this video will be in just a few minutes available here on Facebook. I'm also going to post it over on YouTube. So my YouTube channel, I'll put the little link when I do that, so that you can go back and catch it anytime. You can go back and catch the replay. Yes, so let me see if there's any other comments. I can only see like 1 or 2 at a time. Facebook is so funky that way. Sometimes I can see them all, sometimes I can't. But thank you for spending this time with me. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. Don't hesitate to send me a private message. I try to respond to everybody, especially if there's a topic that you want me to cover on a live stream. I love this stuff. I love to go live. I love to talk about this stuff. All right, for now, have a beautiful, amazing morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. May the animals light your way. We love you. Bye.